Hi, my name is Alicia Derricky. In this presentation, I will defend the idea that the film Jerry Maguire acts as equipment for living for determining your self-worth. Watching a film can be cathartic and can leave us with equipment for living that we can apply to our own lives. One such film that can provide us with equipment for living is Jerry Maguire. The film concentrates on the two main characters, Jerry Maguire and Rod Tidwell, who learn to know their self-worth and make decisions based on their principles. One of the most recognized lines in film, "Show me the money," symbolizes the idea that one must prove their worth or value. In this presentation, I'll review the works of Ott, Peter, Terrell Young, Littlejohn, and Foss, who support the Burkean concept of literature. The four scholarly articles reviewed agree that literature to film or theater has an effect on its audience and support the themes that movies can have a lasting impression which can aid in transforming the audience member. Audience members are able to connect with the movie and apply it to their lives, and films use symbols to communicate messages or assign meaning. So, how do films transform audience members? At times, audiences are able to make connections between what they see in art and their experiences in the world. This is made simpler because the story we see in art can both pose a problem and possible solutions one might use in the real world. The opposite can be true when art is sanitized. In the films Batman and Batman Returns, the films were viewed as too dark and violent, and they inferred Batman's homosexuality and mental illness. This had a negative effect on corporate sponsors, but it provided equipment for living for these issues. In contrast, Batman Forever was sanitized to make it more appealing to the general public as well as kid-friendly. It won back corporate sponsors, but by taking away the true-to-life topics, the film was left with no equipment for living. For some, art, theater, or film acts as a shield in the Medusa myth. It allows us to face our problems without the added pressure of judgment or consequence. Some films are not meant to offer equipment for living. Their main purpose is to get people thinking and spark debate. V for Vendetta is a good example of this type of film. Political in nature, it was meant to get people thinking about the subject matter. This brings us to the topic of symbolism. Often used in literature, film adds another dimension through the use of colors and sound and effects. Color provokes the emotions on a subconscious level. In the film V for Vendetta, drab olive tones express hopelessness, while bursts of orange elicit excitement. This sets an atmosphere of fear and distress while still provoking a call to action. There are other forms of symbolism, such as setting up a film to symbolize a specific time in our history. V for Vendetta was an allegory for George W. Bush's America and a critique of his administration. The comic books use context clues showing Batman and Robin cohabitating in an elegant home sprinkled with flowers, with Batman often seen walking around in a dressing gown. One is left to infer that Batman and Robin were actually partners on an intimate level. And in theater, the characters symbolize audience members with actual human feelings. Audience members then become connected with the characters and invested in the drama. Rhetoric can be especially powerful in that it involves suggesting ideas to people and people to ideas. In the film Jerry Maguire, Tidwell must suggest his idea of his self-worth, therefore forcing the football team to do the same and offer him a larger contract. One can witness just how powerful rhetoric can be in a conversation between Tidwell and his sports agent Jerry.
I need to feel you, Jerry! Show me the money! Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
For the study, I would partner with a local theater, pay for the use of the screen if needed, and screen the film Jerry Maguire to participants at no charge, randomly selecting 150 participants using the systematic sampling method for 3 days for a total of 450 participants. Each participant would fill out an informed consent and take surveys before and after the film and follow up at 30, 60, and 90 days. Data collected. The initial survey would collect data such as identifiers and personal information. The survey after the screening of the film would ask to tell me what Show Me the Money means to them, their feelings about the film, and report if they believe the film will have an effect on their life. If so, describe the change they plan to implement in their life. I would follow up by sending surveys to all participants at 30, 60, and 90 days. For those who indicated they would make a change in the prior survey, I would ask if they were able to implement the change they discussed. For those who indicated they would not, I would ask if any situations arose where they were able to apply equipment for living from the film Jerry Maguire. I would expect that some study participants would identify with a character or situation in the film Jerry Maguire. I would expect a loss of participants due to various reasons, and my desire would be to learn that 30% of study participants would have been able to apply equipment for living and make a change for at least 90 days. In conclusion, film and art does have an impression on the audience and can at times transform them. A common element in film is the use of symbolism. Jerry Maguire offers equipment for living for realizing your self-worth. Further discussion is needed to review all factors of film and the audience that play a part in inciting long-lasting change as a result of equipment for living in a film.